Hey everyone, Token Dave over here, the dorky token black guy who's just trying to get by. So, I said that 2018 I was going to be more organized with my reviews and other things, and thus far I have. I've already posted 2 reviews, one AA, and another AA will be released tomorrow. However, I have not tidied up loose ends with regards to 2017 yet. So I'm just going to take this time to basically wrap up those loose ends by giving you a few token lists regarding 2017. Like I learned in the Godfather movies, it's best to get the bad news out of the way first. So I'm going to start off by giving my worst fanboy movies and TV show list. Now, before I go any further, I just gotta say that, at least in my end, 2017 was a pretty decent year, a pretty good year actually, for fanboyism. You know, most of the things that were released were actually entertainable and enjoyable. You know, but there were quite a few misses. There were a couple of misses there. And so this list is going to categorize those. Now, bear in mind, this is my list and it's totally subjective. You could agree or you're going to disagree. You know, I expect people to feel that way. But I've delayed. Let's go into number 5, The Inhumans. Now, this is a bit of a cop-out, and this is not fair to incorporate the Inhumans because I have not seen it as of yet. However, every person, with the exception of Mama Hawkins, every person that has seen the Inhumans or has spoken about the Inhumans, it's not been good. And it is considered basically the MCU's first complete failure. Now, like I said, it is not fair that I have this on this list because I haven't seen it yet, but with the terrible reception it has gotten from both fans and critics, you know, if it's usually that bad, 9 times out of 10, I will actually side with the majority normally. And it's really disappointing because, number 1, Michael Moe, who played Dew in Street Fighter Assassin's Fist, is in it, and I'm like, dude, what the hell? And to top it off, we've got one of my favorite pets of all time, Lockjaw. Lockjaw looked awesome in this, so how did you drop the ball with Lockjaw? Alright, so number 5, bit of a cop-out, not fair, but I needed to put a top 5 list. Alright, so number 4, Alien Covenant. Now, I loved this movie. I actually really enjoyed it. You know, basically there were a lot of horror cliches that were followed, but they were effectively done. The Neomorph was freaking awesome. I love the idea of basically, you know, things gestating inside of you, out of the fact that they were like germs and all, you know, particles in the air, you know, very interesting and, you know, very unsuspecting. And to top it off, basically, you know, a lot of the kill scenes were actually pretty fun. So I enjoyed watching this movie. That is to say, though, there are quite a few. Oh, and one other thing before I get in there. I actually really enjoyed Danny McBride in this movie. You know, I'm used to seeing him in comedies like I forgot the amateur baseball comedy he was in HBO. I forgot the name of it. Oh man. Anyway, but I'm used to seeing him in comedic roles. It's nice to see him doing something a little serious and a little break of character. And the lady that played the lead female, she wasn't bad, you know. However, I have to admit, there are a lot of issues with this movie. Tons of issues. And yeah, they're pretty obvious. So as much as I enjoyed Alien Covenant, I can't defend all the flaws in this movie. You know, some of the things, some of the moves the characters made were stupid. I mean, real stupid for horror movies. Some of the science, you know, is a little too far-fetched. And, you know, a lot of things were ridiculously predictable. I mean, you know, not copy and paste to a degree predictable, but the atmosphere and the setup, you kind of knew what was going to happen. You know, needless to say, though, despite my enjoyment, I can understand why Alien Covenant, a lot of people doesn't like it, and that's why it is number 4 on my list. Number 3, Ghost in the Shell. Okay, now, here was one of the more controversial movies of the year, due to the whitewashing of Asians, which I will discuss in a token topic sometime in the near future. But needless to say, that didn't help matters out for this movie. Now, keep in mind, this movie has a huge, Ghost in the Shell has a huge following among anime aficionados. I am not one of the anime aficionados. In fact, like, I really feel anime at this time is kind of bland. You know, I'm not the huge anime fan that I was in the 90s. But I did see Ghost in the Shell, and I actually really enjoyed that anime. I have not seen the other 2 animes that came out a couple years later, but, you know, with that being said, did these people really pay much attention to the movie? I mean, the anime. I mean, seriously, you know, now, some of the things that they incorporated were really nonsensical. The characters were not properly represented in action, you know, and the story itself was dull. And one of the beefs that I had with the anime is the beef that I have with this movie is that some of the nude scenes are kind of unnecessary. Now, granted, I'm one of the people that, you know, I understand the whitewashing thing, but I have to admit, Scarlett Johansson is actually properly cast because she actually looked like Major Motomo in this a lot more than anyone else alive. So, you know, I did have as much of a problem with her being casted, but I understood the whitewashing backlash. And despite the visual effects being stunning, yeah, Ghost in the Shell, yeah, it's easily to be passed up. So, yeah, it was, ooh. I hope there's not an anime that's being adapted into the United States. Oh wait, I forgot Your Name and that other one that James Cameron's doing. Never mind. Alright, moving on to more depressing news and additional depressing adaptations is number 2. Resident Evil Final Chapter. How the fuck did this movie last for 15 years? How the fuck is this a series? Let alone a 7-part movie series. You know, forget about being nothing like the games with the exception of character names and zombies. You know, like, what the fuck? Seriously, like, you know, Mila Jovovich is in this movie yet again. You know, as much as I like martial arts actions and, like, you know, martial arts choreography, like, most of the action sequences in here, like the rest of the series, are fucking dull and nonsensical And to be honest, like, you know, I sat through the whole movie not giving a flying fuck about anything. Now, granted, I am probably going to end up having to do a franchise review of this movie, this series, which I am dreading, but the plot from I didn't see all 7 movies, you know, but I unfortunately watched this at home with my sister, and oh god, I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't care about the plot. And to top it off, it was really nonsensical. It doesn't make a lick of fucking sense, even when you have the suspension of disbelief. And to top it off, they still set up the ending for a new movie. Oh god, I'm just glad that this franchise is done, you know. Fuck Paul W.S. Anderson, fuck Mila Yo-Yo bitch, and, you know, I don't want to see this movie or this series being adapted into a full-length live American action movie. Not for at least another 10 years, but the way things are going, that ain't gonna happen. Alright, number 1. If all those movies that I mentioned shows were not disappointing enough, number 1 really took the cake for me. Number one infuriated me as a fanboy more than anything else this year. And number 1 is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Now, if you've been watching my channel as of late, you know that you just got trolled because I'm one of those people that actually love The Last Jedi. So, psych your mic. But the real number 1 is Netflix's Iron Fist. Holy shit. Okay. They just took one of my favorite Marvel characters and really fucked him up, alright? You know, I mean, his origins were, at best, like, you know, it looks like they just skimmed through, but, like, his origins are so inaccurate. His motivations do not make sense. They do a terrible job representing the characters from the comic into the show. I didn't give a lick a damn about anyone with the exception of Ward Meacham. And this is a terrible representation of him. And I keep forgetting the actor's name, but, you know, whomever this actor is, he needs major props and he needs a different role because he was awesome and he was the most compelling person in this whole freaking series. I started out not giving a flying fuck about him to actually being more brought in to the character. Despite everyone being attracted to Colleen Wing in the show, I really, really am disappointed in her character. She was not the feisty, strong-willed female that she is. And she is not basically, you know, and by the way, you know, they had her name drop Daughter of the Dragon without Misty Knight. Fuck you. And to top it off, the representation of the martial arts in this show was done poorly, not to mention the fight choreography is just atrocious, you know. In addition, the mythology of Kunlun and everything is just appalling, you know. One of the reasons why I decided to go on YouTube so prematurely is because of this show. If you want to see my immediate reactions to Iron Fist, I had months to calm down on it, but like I had fuming rage over Iron Fist. And if you want to see it, please go on my Facebook page and click on my videos. You'll see me rant and rave about 30 minutes about Iron Fist. But Iron Fist is definitely the most disappointing and atrocious fanboy adaptation from a movie or TV series this year. Agree? Disagree? Drop me a comment below. Give me a like. Follow me on Facebook at Token Dave or on Twitter, TokenDave80. Subscribe. Ring that bell so you know when a new video loads. And if you disagree, give me your 5 worst fanboy-related movies and TV shows. So, until then, this has been Token Dave, the dorky token black guy who's just trying to get by, and I'll catch you guys later.